Welcome to Julie Whitney Scott Presents Let's Talk Theater, a Mind for God production sponsored event, heard only on WGRN LP 94.1, the Green Renaissance Station. Let's Talk Theater. Well, welcome everybody to Julie Whitney Scott Presents. And with me today is one of the most, as far as I'm concerned, talented Black actresses that we have right here in Central Ohio. And I'm sure that many of you have already seen her work because she's been doing it for over 25 years now. And her name is, yes, Wilma Hatton. Wilma, thank you so much for being on the show with me today.
Yes, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me. And what would you like to talk about?
Okay. I like to just start off because Let's Talk Theater is not just talking about theater, it's about getting my audience to understand and know a little bit about the artists, because we have so many facets as artists. And I think that is so important that we get a glimpse of the why we do what we do. And because there are so many people out there, I'm sure, that have a desire and a goal to do something and maybe have even done it and then lost that desire and have forgotten why they even started to do something in the first place, especially with right now, with COVID and people being isolated and kept away from doing things. So why don't you start anywhere you like and tell us, how did you, Wilma, get on your 25 years journey to be an actress and a Black actress in a dominant white theater world, especially here?
I got the acting bug when I was in middle school. I was about 12-ish. I got the lead role in this Western. And then I thought, hey, I think maybe I might like to do this. And so when I got to high school, I went to St. Francis de Sales in the 80s. So I'm showing my age here. But de Sales at the time was a predominantly white Catholic school. And as a young Black female in that school, yes, I wanted to fit in. I wanting that acceptance, and I wasn't really much of the athlete. I couldn't play a musical instrument, so I couldn't be in the band or anything. But I was in the choir, and I decided, hey, how can I make myself seen? This is what really helped me go there, and so I went to the drama club, and having a little bit of that acting bug. And I auditioned for everything. They only did 2 major shows. They did the spring musical and the fall drama. So I would audition for both. And they usually didn't have me do the fall drama, but they put me in the musicals. So that's how I got into doing musical theater. And plus, again, I was in the choir. So I was doing that. And I wanted to do every role. If the show was Hello Dolly, I wanted to be Dolly. If the show was The Wiz, I wanted to be Dorothy or the Wicked Witch of the West. If the show was Company, Stephen Sondheim's Company, I didn't care what part they gave me in that show. I wanted to do everything. And I really wanted people to just see me. I didn't want them to see a Black girl when she walked into audition. And I remember when I was younger, I hated when people would point that out. Not that I was ashamed of it. I was like, do you ask the white kids? You're a white girl. We're going to put this roles here for a white girl. No. Okay, you don't say that. So it kind of frustrated me when they would bring it up. just see me for who I am. That was when I was younger, and I just wanted that acceptance, looking for that acceptance. So yeah.
You just mentioned that when you were going to the sales,
Hmm.
that they didn't put you in the fall shows.
Correct.
What kind of, I'm just curious, do you remember some of the titles of those fall shows?
One play I remember, I was a freshman. You can't take it with you.
Mhm.
And they used, I mean, it wasn't because I don't think it was because I was Black per se. I think a lot of the Black students did not audition. They just didn't audition for the shows. But one Black female was used. The two teachers that were running the department and were auditioning us, they just picked people out. They would pick the same people for certain shows. So because of my versatility and showmanship, they used me for musicals.
Mhm.
Okay. If I tried to be serious and this of course is me with no training whatsoever as an actor. So they said, well, she's better for the musicals. We're not going to put her in these dramas.
Mm.
But the only one I do remember is You Can't Take It With You. That was my freshman year.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
and
I
that's a
asked that
crazy show. But
I asked that question because a lot of times the schools, at least during that time,
mhm.
and you were saying you was telling your age in the 80s, well, I can go back to the 70s. Yeah. And um the shows that were usually done were always given the general same Western European plays.
Mhm.
And so I think that a lot of times what happened was because of not having the diversity in plays that
Right.
that included other people and other
Mhm.
races of and diverse,
Mhm.
people,
Right.
uh, that it was just a status quo thing. These
Right.
are the plays we're going to do, and the characters for these plays are white. So and but it fits that era. See, because
Correct. Correct.
y'all
It
were
does.
slaves back then, and you see, and you
Uh-huh.
didn't do these things. We did
Correct.
them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We did them in our own way or whatever, but it
Yes.
wasn't seen as it was acceptable to exclude us because it was easily to say we're not in the fabric of the history books and the and the artwork and the things that pertain around those
Hmm.
plays.
Correct.
So let's talk a little bit about what was your most challenging role. Now, so far I see that you worked in Company and Curtains, you've been with
Yeah.
Gallery Players, you did Hairspray,
Yes.
Weather Vane Playhouse, A Raisin in the Sun, I saw you in that one, SRO Theater, How We
Uh-huh.
Got On,
Uh-huh.
and just other stuff. Talk to me about Ma Rainey's Black Bottom and you being in that, this stage you were
Oh
put on,
gosh.
and now here it is.
Yes.
Denzel Washington,
Yes.
has
Yes.
just, and you were doing it. Talk to us. What role did you have in that? And
Uh-huh.
how exciting is it to have been in that play? And then,
Uh-huh.
now you're like, oh, Denzel's doing it.
Mhm. Um, I was Ma Rainey, and that was the honor of a lifetime. I have to say, Mark Clayton Southers directed it. Mark Clayton Southers is a director in Pittsburgh, and he was helping to do the August Wilson festival that Short North Stage was doing that year. And he was also mentored, I have to mention this, by August Wilson himself. So he knew his stuff. Mark knows his stuff. And oh wow, I was not, to this day, I am still flabbergasted by the fact that Mark chose me to be Ma Rainey. And what was so interesting, and he told this story, that he had already picked an actress. He had an actress in mind. She was from Chicago. He was going to have her do the role. And I showed up to audition. And I don't think they were necessarily expecting me, but I went ahead and I did it. I auditioned, and Mark said she just tore it up. So I came in there and I read that monologue that Ma Rainey does about the blues, and she got really deep about it, about how the line is white folks don't understand the blues and what it does, and the blues can get you up in the morning, and the blues can take you to bed at night. And she talks about that, and that was what I used to audition with, and it was just so amazing, and it was an honor to play this amazing woman, and what she did for the challenges of that time, and what she did for the community, and particularly, the Black community, what she did to help bring joy to the Black community. And she was loved. She did it in like a circus tent, that type of thing. She just gave them so much joy. And I was honored to play her. And the actors, I was intimidated. And I have to say, I was very intimidated because they taught me I had to step up my game. I had to step up my game because these were the majority of them were union actors. They knew their stuff, and Wilma had to step it up, and so that is what I did, and it was just so incredibly amazing to play that part, and the artist. I learned so much from all of them, and the discipline that an artist must have. So it was great.
Yeah, let's talk about discipline. Let's
Yes.
talk about that. I think that is one of the keys to being a good actor,
Yes.
is having discipline. So
Yes.
Wilma, over your 25 years and things, and I'm glad you brought up that point about sometimes other actors, they help us put ourselves, step it up.
Correct.
Instead of bringing it down. I like to
Right.
work with people that don't dummy it down, bring it up, because
Right.
I'm coming. I
Right.
don't know if this ever happened to you before. I used to minister in mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one time, and when I would minister, I minister. I'm in it to God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No show, nothing. I am worshiping Him through my
Yes.
body
Mm-hmm.
and my movements and at one time during the break or something, someone had made a comment to the fact that they they weren't going to be, how they put it in a way that they they felt that I was doing too much,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because they were just half-ass stepping it.
Okay.
Okay, you see what I mean?
Yes.
Wait, let me say that again because I cursed. Hold on.
No, it's your truth. So go on with it. Yes.
But because they and I was in the house of the Lord, and we, even in rehearsal, for me, we still rehearsing to a worship song. I'm worshiping,
Right. Right.
even in rehearsal. See,
Yeah.
because ain't no joke to me
Right.
doing that particular
Mm-hmm.
thing. That, you know what I'm saying? I can't just
Yeah.
cut. But it was that mentality, and I had that thought, like you were saying. I said, I thought, well, you know, discipline means that I'm always doing my best.
Correct.
And so
Yes.
if you're intimidated by me doing my best and don't do like you did, which is Wilma got to step it up.
Right.
Instead of Wilma, oh, they're just over the top. Good gracious.
Right.
Does it take all that?
Right. Right.
Yes, it did.
It takes all that. Yes.
Talk
Yes.
so let's talk a little bit about how did you develop your discipline to be able to do the things that you have done.
Okay. I'm going to admit sometimes I still go there. I'll have moments where I slack and I can get a little undisciplined, let me put it that way. So I'm not going to lie and say I'm still, I'm still working on it to a certain extent, but um, I want to be able, when I am in any show that I do, I had to grow up in the sense that number one, it's not about me. Wilma isn't here. It's about what story am I telling? And I want to give it that truth. And that, I have to say, is how I began to get grounded in that discipline because I want to tell that truth. And the only way I can do that is if I am bringing my truth to it and get grounded in that truth so that I can project that on stage. Okay. A lot of times, I can only speak for myself, in particularly when I would do musicals. I haven't done musicals in a while now, but sometimes I'll say it's a ta-da moment. Do you understand when I say we got to do that little ta-da? You know how little kids are. See what I did? We jazz hands. I'm being silly, but I would go off in that tangent, and sometimes it was good, especially when you're trying to sell a story. Okay, and when we do musical theaters, it when we do musical theater, it can get really flashy. Yes, because you're doing the movement, you're doing this, and you're doing that. You're presenting something, and so sometimes it can become very presentational. And I did have an issue with that. One of my acting coaches really ran me for that. You know, this is serious. You're being too flashy. Quit. You're doing that when you're talking and you're being so expressive, right? And I had to really ground myself and just bring what I could to that story. And another thing I have to say is that, in particularly when I was in a scene with another actor, when I had to learn when I'm on stage that it was about the other person. When you are in that scene and there are other people on that stage, it's about them and what you're doing for them slash to them. And so again, I have a wonderful acting coach, and he taught me that. So that helped me get grounded. And I'm always learning, and I'm still learning, and I'm still getting grounded in that discipline. So I've come a long way from 25 years ago.
Well, honey, haven't we all?
Yes.
Thank God,
Yes.
that we have. And I'm glad you mentioned about, coaches. Coaches are good, and directors who are coaches, at
Hmm.
the time. when the production is going on, I think they are very important too in helping the how you're going, the discipline, you know, just helping you be grounded.
Exactly.
Being able to let you bring the character to life, but also keeping you grounded and focused on what the whole play is.
What the
And
whole play,
also
exactly.
and, and
Yes,
and I really like the point you brought up about is the other people on the stage,
exactly.
because and for me, I think that you can tell the best um, performances are when actors are on the stage and you see the connection, and
Exactly.
you see, you know, I now see the person opposite of me. I don't see them as who they are. I see them as that character. So I'm
Right.
responding and talking to them as the
Mm-hmm.
character I am to that character right there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's discipline.
Exactly.
And like and understanding that that could be your girlfriend, you just had lunch with them, y'all party and
Mm-hmm.
everything, but when we on the stage and I am and Susan and you are Rachel and we
Mm-hmm.
acting, we two different people now,
Correct.
and I have to connect, and we have to be able to connect that we're uh, those people to bring it to life. That's some, you give some really good stuff, Wilma. That I mean, some good points,
Yeah.
and I think, and especially as you said, 25 years ago.
Right.
So we hopefully
Evolve.
involved,
Yes.
and
Mm-hmm.
musicals, like you said, uh, they're so different. I've written a musical, but not a big old fancy,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
um,
Right.
but that's just because I know I can't produce that because I ain't
Mm-hmm.
got the money. So I ain't even,
Yeah. They are expensive.
I write
Yes.
what I
Yes.
can produce, baby. It's just
Yeah.
basically, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because it take a
Uh-huh.
lot of money to do West Side Story and all that other stuff. Like you
Oh
said, with that
yes.
flashy stuff, that's Broadway, that's money.
Yes. Yes. And it's flashy. You're still telling a story. I did a musical called A New Brain, and I want to focus on this for just 1 second. That was the last major musical I did. It was at Gallery Players, and the director of that show, um, she was on me hard because this is a musical. We are okay telling a story through music, but you're still telling a story. And she had to point out to me, this is not ta-da time. This is not flash time. I need you to tell me what is happening and how this makes you feel. Okay. And I had to learn again, and this is before I did Ma Rainey, I had to learn to step it up. Again, step it up. Oh, yeah. What am I doing here? What am I doing to this individual right here? This actor here. Okay, this individual is sick and I am playing the nurse and I have to tend to his needs. How are we going to do this? Yes, we're singing because the entire show was in music. There wasn't too much of a spoken word. The way the show, Mr. William Finn wrote it, he tends to write plays like that, write musicals that way where you just sing, sing, sing. And when you're dealing with the other characters, how am I interacting? How am I doing that? And she really got me to think about that. It made me very uncomfortable, okay? Because it was sometimes the ego steps in and we got to tell that ego what to go do with itself, okay? And she did, I was a little uncomfortable, but I'm a lot wiser for the wear today.
I can say as a director and an actor, but especially as a director, that the best performances come from the actors who can put that ego to the side and take direction
Right.
and listen.
Right.
Because like you said, you got better once you did that. Yeah, once
Yeah.
you put your ego aside and said, and then you got to thinking about it, and then you actually implement it,
Mm-hmm.
see and hear the results, not only from how you're feeling it and how your co-actor is, but how the audience responds
Right.
to it,
Right.
lets you know that, oh, I guess the director knew what they were seeing. Because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times as actors, we want to try to get in our feelings
Yeah.
and what we feel
Right.
and what we see through our eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But the director sees us.
Uh-huh.
And the director not only sees us,
Mm-hmm.
which we can't see because we're looking out, right?
Right.
So not only does the director see us, the director sees the whole picture and how all y'all looking
Mm-hmm.
together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
Oh yeah.
that's a director's job. Yeah,
Right.
and if you follow the director's job, I used to
Mm-hmm.
always one of the things I tell people when I'm directing is my job is to make you look good. Now, whether you take that advice
Right.
or not,
Right.
because once you get on the stage and showtime, action, I'm done.
Exactly.
See, now it may be they say, oh, the director, which is why directors, we work so hard to make you look good and to make this production good, because people always look back and say the director.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yes.
The actor
Mm-hmm.
sucked, but they
Mm-hmm.
talk about, and the reason they do that is because the director's job is to make you look good. But
Right.
unfortunately, sometimes directors get actors who can't put that ego aside so that they can help them look good.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You see,
Oh yeah.
so it's a flop. Or,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Somebody else is doing such a good job, nobody notices that you ain't doing shit. No, you see what I'm saying? You just like you.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
she,
Yeah.
she, she done such a good job over there. We don't even say that you screw it up.
Yeah.
Because the good
Yeah.
discipline, because a good disciplined actor is going to pick that up because they don't want
Right.
the whole show to go down.
Right. It's about the whole show. I remember, and I have to say this. This is another thing. I did. I'm not gonna say which show it was, but I remember saying to one of the actors I was on stage with, uh, I noticed this other actor was doing something wrong. And I looked at the other actor on the stage with me and I said, well, if he does that again, I'm going to just let that go. In other words, my point is, I was just going to let him make this mistake. And she came back with, well, if he does that again, I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to help him. And she said, we're not going to do that. Right? This was a long time ago, but I remember her looking at me saying, "No, we're not doing that. We're going to help him, and we're going to keep it going." And then I said, "You're right. You're right."
Because it's about the show.
Right. It's about the. It's not again. It's
The
not
whole
about you.
show. You just
Right.
a piece. And why would you allow somebody that you don't know what's going on with people and I know for me, there's always one thing that I always be
Mm-hmm.
screwing up. And I don't
Right.
care how much I try, Wilma.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get to that one thing and I'll be like, oh,
Right.
why can't I say that line?
Mm-hmm.
Why
Mm-hmm.
am I blocked on that?
Right.
See, but I know my co-work, my co-team, they know it. They're like,
Right.
Julie, she might mess that up because she and I'll be
Exactly.
like, tell them like, I'm gonna try to do it. And most of the time God steps in and I get it, when it comes to showtime or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times, sometimes doing rehearsal or whatever, it's just like, hey, I keep forgetting that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like your co-actor said, oh no, 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 we can't let him fall like that because then we'll all fall.
Right.
Because that
Mm-hmm.
one line, if we let that slip, that may mess up the whole daggone
Whole thing. Yes.
whole thing. It may make people jump from one page 5 pages down
Right.
because you didn't
Right.
help pick that up.
You didn't pick it up. Exactly.
That's good. We're talking some good
Exactly.
stuff, girl.
Yeah.
We're talking
Yeah.
theater.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And I'll be glad to be able to get back actually in a theater and on stage and, virtual, I will say, is very, very nice. I'm glad because it's giving us the opportunity and the privilege to express. But I will be very, very happy when we actually can get in an auditorium and be artists, be the great artists that we all are, and express ourselves. And I'm quite sure the audiences will be very happy to come back in because I know everyone wants to get back to normal, whatever that means.
I
And so,
do.
yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I
I'm a
just,
frequent flyer. I'm a frequent flyer.
oh, yeah,
I'm always in the audience. I
exactly. Yeah.
love I love live plays. I
Mhm,
think I try to see at least 10 or something a year. Um, and I've seen a couple of good ones,
mhm.
virtually. But like you said, I miss the theater. But
Yes.
but you know, there's this old saying in show business: there's no business like show business. There's
No,
no
man.
business I know, and the show what must go
Must
on.
go on.
So
Uh-huh.
it's good that um, in this time that we are still doing something,
Yes.
even if we have to look at it, if
Hmm.
we can't get in the theater, but that we are still attempting uh,
Hmm.
to present art and to present people's words,
Hmm.
which are very important,
Hmm.
especially at this time,
Yes.
and
Hmm.
that people have some outlet artistically.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
Yes. I
Wilma,
was like,
we're
okay.
at that wonderful moment in my show when I asked all of my guests. You've just given some really good nuggets. So I don't know what more you could possibly say, but
Oh, I can say a lot.
I want you to give a final. I'm going to say for you a final word of
Okay.
encouragement to people, to somebody out there that just on anything based on what we've discussed thus far, or anything that you haven't, that you think you just want to leave out there for people to encourage them now, especially now during this time.
To younger artists, mainly to younger artists. I will also say to younger artists of color. I am a firm believer in doing everything in the artistic community. When I was coming up, starting out, I should say, we were told. I mean, I won't say I was told. That's not right. A lot of times, the Black artists would only do shows, Black plays, something like The Wiz, per se, Color Purple. Uh, uh, I am a firm believer in doing everything. Do it all. Do film, do the commercial, do Shakespeare. Everyone is afraid of Shakespeare. He's very intimidating. Yes, it is, but do Shakespeare. Get cultured in everything, and tell the truth. Tell your truth.
I like that.
So,
Tell your truth. I like that. Well, Wilma, I want to thank you so much for just taking some time out today to be with me on Let's Talk Theater. And I am looking forward to seeing you and hearing your lovely voice again on the stage, or seeing your face flash by on a commercial, on the television, and and just being out there in the community. So hopefully you and I will get a chance to work together in the upcoming future. We
Yes,
always seem
ma'am.
to be busy and doing something at the same time.
The summer is busy.
But I guess that's a good thing.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
it's a good thing. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the time when you and I can be on the stage.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yes.
We're gonna do
So,
it.
yeah, so we'll just put that on. So thank you again. Here's my
Thank you
virtual
for
hug. Sending this
Yes.
love
Yes,
to you
fam.
and your
Yes.
family. Stay
Thank
safe. Stay
Yes.
well.
Same to you. You take care.
All right.
Bye bye.